and kickoff. We're so happy to have you. We've got some really great updates happening here at the APS, and what better way to kick it off than with news from the American Philatelic Research Library, the APRL, where you will find over 4 miles of books. It's one of the world's largest philatelic library, a jewel of the APS to be sure. I know a lot of you guys are here specifically to ask questions and hear about the upcoming changes coming to the online catalog. It's very exciting, particularly where the world is now, where so much of what we do is online. You know, who would have thought 8 months ago getting your groceries online would be something normal? Well, same thing now with library books, and it's even more efficient and faster, and there's so much to glean from this time. So it's really exciting. So joining with me today are Scott Tiffney. He's Director of Information Services at the APRL. He's been on the Stamp Chat many, many times. He's also teaching the class this month on C3A on philatelic research. So maybe you have some students here today, Scott. And we have Ms. Marian Mills. She is Technical Services Coordinator at the APRL. Thank you so much for joining us today, Scott and Marian.
My pleasure, Heidi. Thanks for the introduction. And today we'd like to sort of introduce you, or sort of give you a heads up on something that's happening here in the library come February 1st. So just before COVID hit with us, we were in the process of upgrading our online catalog. The online catalog is the search database that you use when you're searching for things in the catalog, for things that you want to request of the library or ask us about. So I'm just going to do a share screen just to show you where we're going and where we've been. So this is the APS website as you know it now. And if you want to find our online catalog, you go to library, and then you scroll down the screen, and in the second paragraph or section, it says search our library holdings using the online catalog. And then you would click on that, and it would take you to this screen, and you can sort of toggle between either the simple search screen or switch to advanced search, which I like. And we've had this catalog on this platform. This is InMagic Genie is the software that's used to sort of create this catalog. We have 14 member libraries. They're down here on the right-hand side. We have 14 libraries in this catalog. We started this catalog in October of 1992. We've done upgrades over the years as new versions of the software came out. But come the start of 2019, or sorry, late 2019, we were approached by the software, the vendor, saying that this software is no longer being upgraded. We want you you need to upgrade to our newest platform, which is a software called Genie Plus. So we were sort of hoping to have this rolled out sometime in the middle of last year, but then when COVID hit, it sort of changed where we were in terms of trying to get this done. So it sort of changed the sort of timeline for us. But we're still really excited about where we're going with the new catalog. Marian Mills, who's also on this session, has been instrumental in sort of making this happen. She's done a lot of the back end work to sort of make the new catalog for you. We're also in sort of contact with our member libraries and sort of their records as well. As you know, in this database, if you click on down here, if you're not familiar with this, this is where you can search other libraries in the database as well. You can search just the APRL, or you can search all of them. So that's the way it looks now, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with how that looks. So now we'd like to show you what the new OPAC or Union catalog is going to look like. So this is the landing page that you start with. Some of the features are, the reason for the change was not only obviously the upgrade. This software platform is much more robust. It allows for a lot more types of material. It also allows for a lot more flexibility in terms of us as the library staff to put information in the database. We kept the name David Straight, as many of you know, was very instrumental with the Union catalog when we first went to a Union catalog online. So we kept that. So we have a picture of him there. This first page we can always sort of change, but we sort of have it this way for now. But all your features for sort of the things that you remember that you could do on the old catalog are here as well. So the first one is you can type your search in here in this text box at the top. There's an alphabetical where you can go to a particular letter of the alphabet. Here's your advanced search screen. It's a little slow. It's still in a sort of a test bed. So here's your advanced search screen where you can put in your search depending on particular type of search you want to do. There's keyword searching. You can search by titles, authors, subjects, material types. You can search by the library that this found in. For example, you can select the library where this is found, and this is where you could select the APRL. And we can go into that a little more. What we plan on doing too, we'll certainly answer your questions today, what we can answer. I am in the process, we're in the process here in the library of putting together videos that will sort of go through a few simple things, an introduction to the catalog. I want to do one on some searching, how to go about searching, and then one on sort of how to request things from the library. So those will be rolling out the week before we go live. We plan to go live on Monday, February 1st. So the start of next month, which is a nice sort of time. It's a Monday morning, and this is when this will go live. You won't have to do anything. We will change the link on the website where I just showed you where we get to the old catalog. That link will just change and it'll take you to this catalog address. So here's a nice advanced search feature. Here's where we're going to have popular searches. We don't have any in there yet. I think we just have the one where we listed getting started with philately. We put a few things in there that would get you started in philatelic, in sort of philatelic study. We can add to these and change these, and these are things that can be saved as well. Have a nice feature for our online resources. Again, some of this isn't here yet. We're still in the process of loading the data into the back end. We'll also have something for new resources. So these are new things that have come into the library where you can sort of scroll down and see what's come in on a regular basis and click on those. My book bag is sort of similar to what we did in the old catalog with your cart. So where you put things into your cart to sort of request them from the library. And finally, the feature that we really like, that we didn't have a really good place for in the old catalog, is our used books for sale. So that'll be on the very first page, and you can just scroll through to sort of see which items we have for sale. And it gives you information on where they're found, how much they are, things like that. So that's a really quick run through. I know Marian has a few things that she might want to show as well, and I can certainly assist with that.
Yeah, Scott, if you would just do a search on this homepage, I did want to highlight some of the cool things that show up.
Okay.
Just whatever you like.
I usually search on Wayne Youngblood's name. He hates this, but I search on his name a lot because his name comes up in a lot of things. So here we go.
So on this basic search page, you'll see when you first do the search that it doesn't have as many options as the old catalog. When you're actually doing the search itself, it doesn't let you, it just has the one search bar. But what it does have instead is when you're doing a basic search along the left-hand side of the page, you can sort by author, you can sort by material type. So if you know you're looking for a book, you don't want any articles, you can say just books and click on that tab. You can sort by library, you can sort by subject. And so it just has these really cool features as far as like narrowing things down for you once you've done your initial search. So that was one thing we thought was very cool. So that's just one thing I wanted to point out. In the advanced search, if Scott, you'd go to the advanced search. If you see underneath the bottom row library, there's a little button where there's a plus right below library. Above that, the search bars.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Plus.
You can add more lines if you need to do more searches. So you can add, I think, as many lines as you want. So if you want to search by all of these at the same time, narrow by all of those, you can. And then right next to it is a delete. So if you decide you don't want to use those, you can delete them. But if you drop down on the second drop down after the Boolean search, like all fields, you'll see all the different things that you can search by right there. So you can change what you search by. You can sort of change how you search, whether it's an exact search, a keyword search, as Scott showed. And the other thing that we want to mention is if you're currently using our catalog to search, you'll notice that sometimes you'll search for something that you know is in the catalog and it won't show up at all. And often that's because it was doing an exact phrase search. So it was looking for the words that you typed in, it had to be in the exact same order. So if you if you're looking for a book and you weren't sure what the title is exactly, you've really sort of had to put the ampersand, the and symbol in the middle so that it would search, you know, this word, or this word and the author. But now there's more options for searching. So when you are doing a search, you can put in a couple of words. It's going to be a little bit more like a Google search where it's going to search for those words and it won't necessarily have them be right next to each other unless you want it to and you can tell it to. So that'll give you a little bit more flexibility in your searching. So we're hoping that that'll be helpful for you. Another thing, I know that a lot of you like to look up the used books for sale. If you want to go over to that. You'll be able to request these directly from the catalog, which is different from what we were doing before. You had to send us an email and say, this is the book I want, this is the barcode, this is all the information about it, I found it in your catalog, but you couldn't request it directly through the catalog. Now that's going to change. So Scott, if you want to click on one of the, yep, and then just submit request. You can just submit a request for this book. And it'll send it to us just like that. So, so that's just another thing that's changed as well. Yeah, anything else that you wanted to add about this, Scott?
No, as I say, this is just to sort of to show you a little bit what it looks like. It has some of the same features here. These are links here to the individual catalogs that are in the database. We also, if you want to know a little bit more about those individual libraries, you can click there. We also thought it was a good idea to put on this first page our fee structure, which in the past is sort of, people have always asked how much does it cost to borrow a book, or and so it takes you to this page where we have our fee structure for things as well, and the kind of services that we provide for not only our members, but non-members as well. So we thought that was important to put there on the first page. That's really it. I mean, there's some other things you can click on these individual, it can be quite large, but these individual, and they're just alphabetical by the letter of the alphabet. So the titles in the database. I think what you're going to find is this, as Marian said, this is going to give you a lot more flexibility in your searching and a lot more sort of opportunity to sort of refine your searches to get the kind of results that you're looking for. It has that. When you can add multiple sort of search fields, it really allows you to sort of narrow your search a lot more easily. And all this functionality on the left-hand side, which Marian pointed out too. So once you do a search, maybe you do a search on a very general name, like say, for example, Wayne Youngblood's last name, then you can sort of refine that search right away on the left-hand side here. It's really helpful. So we really find that this has a lot more for the user, for the people coming to use the database. It certainly, as Marian will attest, has a lot more functionality for us as a library staff on the back end, where we can sort of put bits of data in there that we couldn't in the previous catalog. There's a lot more options for us on that end as well. So we're really excited about this. As I say, the rollout date, the go live date is going to be Monday, February 1st. Leading up to that, we'll certainly have things on the website, news items on the website, so make sure you check into those. And we are in the process of creating videos that will sort of walk you through some of the things we showed you today, but in a little more detail in terms of how to search the database on a basic search, how to search it using advanced search, how to request things from the library. Maybe I'll do one on the used books for sale as well, how to go about requesting that. But you saw how easy that was. So we're really excited about this. This has been a project sort of about a year and a bit in the works. But we're really excited to sort of be rolling this out this year. One of the new improvements in the APRL for 2021. So if we have any questions, or if you want to write questions into Heidi and let us know if there's anything that you'd like to see. There's still a work in progress. As Marian said, we're still sort of working on some sort of final tweaking of it before the first, but by the first, we will have this done, and it's just some minor things that we're working on right now to sort of make sure everything runs exactly the way we'd like it to run. So if there's any questions, Marian and I would be more than welcome to answer them if you'd like.
Great, and thanks so much. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't say that we used Wayne Youngblood, but he will be teaching next month's C3A class. And so for those of you who have started taking the online classes as part of your New Year's resolutions to continue to grow your philatelic database within your head, you'll be taking Tiffney's class this month and then Wayne's next month. That's on C3A. So we have a clustered question, but I'm going to go back because we're on the heels of, the buying season here. How do you buy used books? So how do you purchase it? Is there a
really
place where
simple? So right now we have it in the catalog. You can certainly search in our existing catalog. It's here. So if you go to the basic search screen, if leading up to this time, if you're going to just the basic search screen, when you click on the website, this is where you come to. There's a link right here that says search items, duplicate items for sale. And so you would just do a search here for that. What we like in the new platform is that it's right here. It's this tab right here, used books for sale. And you can just click on that. In the past, we've had a limit. It will only display 1,000 items at a time in the old catalog. This will, as you can see, there are multiple pages here at the top. You can just scroll through here. I know there are people who just want to scroll through what we have. They don't want to do a search. They just want to see everything that we have and go through it. So in this system, it's really, really easy. You would just, as we showed you earlier, click on that item and then it sends a request to us. In the current system, it's just you would find the item and then it'll say, for sale, contact the library at library@stamps.org, or you would just call us and say, all we need is the barcode that you see here on the left-hand side. There's a barcode in the record. Right here, this barcode is what we need to find the book. And so that's how you would do it in this older version of the catalog. You would sort of let us know, send that to us, and then we can sort of find the book and sort of send it out to you. So we're trying to streamline that. In the new catalog, we streamline that much easier. Once you sort of click on the item, you sort of just save the request and then send it to us. And we get it right away. So we have about, we did a good bit of sales just before Christmas here, but we still have somewhere around 2,500 to 2,600 items for sale. So it's a really useful sort of way for us to sort of get the materials back into the hands of philatelists and back into the hands of people who could really use these items. We don't make a lot of money on it. It's really meant as it helps us a little bit with our services, but it's just a way of getting it back into the hands of people who could really use these items.
And that's always very important, is getting the material back to philatelists. So thank you. Good question here. Is the site mobile friendly?
Yes, it is. It is. That's one of the sort of upgrades that you will notice from the old catalog. The old catalog sometimes had issues on certain display types. It was great on a larger tablet, but sometimes wasn't the best on a phone. This is better on the phone. I've used it on my phone already, this test site, and it works very well. So yes, it is responsive.
Wonderful. So many upgrades. This is fantastic. What is the frequency for updating new resource on an as received basis or in a certain time frame?
Do you want to answer that, Marian?
Yeah, it's pretty much whenever I get to it. So At the moment, it's when I come into the library or when I am able to get new books or when I'm not working on this. So I do try to, for a while, I was trying to make sure I put new resources into the catalog every week. And that hasn't happened for the last couple of weeks because I've been at home, there's been holidays, I've been really working on this quite a bit. But for the most part, every week you'll see new resources and not just for me, but from the other libraries as well. A lot of the other librarians are cataloging directly into this. So you'll see our new resources and you'll see the Spellman's new resources and all the other libraries. But generally you can expect every week, but until this goes live, maybe, I mean, yeah, what you won't see it until it goes live. So probably every week.
How long, do you know, Marian, how long the list is? Like say, okay, I click on new resources. Does it show a certain number of new resources?
I'm not sure how long the
Okay.
list.
Okay. But that is the place if you want to see what's new, not just in our library, but the other libraries as well. Yeah. Another feature that we don't have in our current catalog.
What a tremendous, tremendous resource to be able to aggregate all of this research onto one catalog. Fantastic. On the advanced search page, what is the other libraries option at the bottom left of the page?
So that one, that will show you other places that you can search, such as the Global Philatelic Library. It has the link for you to go to the Global Philatelic Library. We were hoping that we'd be able to link right to, yeah, it just takes you to them. And you can search for our materials on the Global Philatelic Library, but you can also search all the other libraries that they have around the world. So they have all the same options as us, and then many more. So so if you're traveling to Europe maybe and you want to visit some philatelic libraries in the future, probably, then you can go over there and see what they have as well. Just something we thought we'd add for your benefit. And then of course a link to our digital library. So you can, if you're a member, you can log on and view our online materials.
Eventually, we're going to try and sort of streamline this, the link to this, the digital collections of the library, so that once you're logged in as a member on the website, you could go to the online catalog and then you'll automatically be logged into this. We're still working on that sort of handshake, if you will, the digital handshake that has to take place. So ideally, you'll come to not just this page, but you would come to the first landing page of the digital collection. So we're still working on that, but it does take you to this point in the process, and then you can log in. And right now we still do have the digital database free for anybody. If you go to the library page, you'll find it there. The login information is there for you to sort of see. So, so hopefully, eventually we will have these as sort of very sort of much more streamlined in terms of the digital library. You can just go right into the digital database.
What is submit a request at the top of the home page used for?
Okay, so if you wanted to, if you don't have a book in mind, but you do have a question for us at the library, maybe you need a reference request or some sort of research help, and you don't know what exact book you want, you can just submit a request here. You don't need to attach it to a book. You can just send us a note and we'll respond to you. So it's just a place for you to send us your questions, send us your reference or research questions.
It's for your research requests, and there's you know, options to give us more information. One of the things that we as librarians wanted to improve with this is sort of people to provide us a little bit more information than sometimes they provide in a research request. Sometimes we'll get a research request and all we get is an email. We have no idea, and we have to verify the person who it is so that we can respond properly to them. And this just gives us, in terms of on the library, and more flexibility with your research request as you request something from the library. So if you don't know, as Marian says, if you don't know the particular book you may be looking for, or there's an article that you want us to find, or if there's a research request you want us to do, this is where you would do that.
This is the same, sort of the same thing that shows up. If you are requesting a book, it's going to look very similar to this. It's just going to have the book information attached to it. So So it's just if you don't have a book or an article or something you want to buy, that you know of, you just have like a long list of questions, this is where you can do it. You can also do it if you do have a book you know that you want. You can request the book and fill in the same information and also a reference request at the same time. But yeah, this was just an extra. I don't
And
have
one of the things, as I was mentioning earlier, with the information about the requester that we will receive, is we do have this priority function as well now. That sort of, if there's something, say you're on a deadline for an article that you're writing, or you're a judge at a stamp show and you need this material pretty quickly, you can put this in here. Now, I know some people will put that in there regardless, but we're hoping that people use this, you know, reasonably, that if there's something's really urgent, you can put a date in for us that you absolutely need it by. So you can sort of add the date of when this request is needed by. So a nice function as well for our benefit as well in the library, so we know if something's a real priority for you.
For the long term, say 10 to 20 years, is there any plan for ebooks in philately?
This has come up. There are a number of ebooks. We have talked about this. I've talked about this with Tara Murray, who was previously in this position, and I know she explored it as well. I know there are a fair number of ebooks about philately, about philatelic subjects, and it is something that we'd like to pursue. I don't know whether it'll be this year, but I do. I want to see. I've gone to a number of library sites that offer that. A lot of public libraries offer those options, and there are time limits. So you borrow an ebook, and it has a time frame. So you say you borrow a normal book for 2 weeks. They can have an ebook that's available to you for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, your access to it ends. We'd like to start exploring that. I know I've talked that with Scott English as well. We're just trying to work out the logistics for that, but it is something that we are discussing and is on the horizon, and we'd like to sort of see if we can do that. We want to get this sort of running and stable, and then we can sort of look into those options as well.
The other thing that I'd like to mention is you can't see it right now because it's not set up in a way that's easy to look at, but we are hoping that the online resources tab at the top that Scott went to briefly, we're hoping that that will be sort of a better way to find things that are available online more easily. So if there's a book that maybe we have in the library, but there is also available online, you should be able to just go to that tab, take a look at everything that's there, and you'll just see everything that we have that is also available online for free on that tab. And it doesn't look very good right now. We're still working out exactly how to make that work. But when we go live, we're hoping that that'll be a good place for you to just go and take a look at what books are available online. And certainly we can always use help finding things that are available online for free that we can, you know, attach to our catalog so that people can find them more easily.
Because right now we have a lot of, if you go to a particular citation or record in the current catalog, if Marian finds a link to that particular item online somewhere, she will provide that link, and it's in there as in the field called URL. And that's sort of really where we want to sort of grow that here. So that's just a simple click on that tab, and you'll find items that are available online already, sort of in full text and things like that. So it's an exciting feature, again, that we can't offer in the current catalog, but we can offer in this one.
What is the share search at the very right of the tabs on the homepage? What does it do?
Do you know that one, Marian?
Yeah, so if you do a search for something, you could maybe, Scott, if you want to do a search as an example. I think that this is how it works. And you want to share that with somebody. Like say you found like a couple of resources that you think that, you know, your friend could use. I think you can share your search that way through that.
Okay.
I will have to work on exactly how that, there's a couple of ways to share what you're looking at in the catalog with other people. So I think that's one of the ways, and there might be some other ways as well. We'll have more details about that later. That's one of the things that, they tell us that it's an option. Of course, we want to make things more available to people. We want people to be able to share things. But it's not, so we said yes to that, but we don't exactly necessarily know how everything works yet. So I think that's how it works. We will have more information about that later.
The other thing I should have mentioned from this page is you have a print option here, so you can print the items that have come up, and you can also switch the layout, so it's looks a little different. You can have items display that way as well, if that's easier. It highlights the title of the particular item, still highlighting what you searched on as well. So you can, and that's right here, you can switch. The other nice feature is that we do have that in the current database, but it tells you how many records you found with your search. And then you can go through the various pages as well. I think there is a certain amount of sort functionality with certain things. I could be mistaken. Yeah, no, I think it just is the way it is. But so they give you some display options, which you can change if you like, if that's easier to read, for example.
And again, friends, for anyone who is just joining us either on Facebook Live or on our Zoom meeting, the catalog does go live on Monday, February 1st. Are you considering a general Ask a Library button that might contain FAQs for users?
Yes, so we're in the process of putting together some materials that will help people with doing some of the basic sort of functions in the catalog, and it will be more or less an FAQ. So we are going to have that once we go live as well.
I'm monitoring our friends over here on Facebook Live as well. Let's see. So this is kind of more of an esoteric question that just be prepared. Have you considered an annual all-you-want library membership that would let you get books with postage either much reduced or waived?
We've done a couple of different, that's come up at various discussions, sometimes with the APRL board members have mentioned some things along that line. We are sort of constantly trying to, the fee structure that we've had currently in the library has been pretty much existent since we've been borrowing material. I know Tara Murray sort of set up basically the fee structure that we have now. We're always I'm always open to other ways of doing it. My one concern is that I don't want, if it works well for the staff and how they go about their duties, I'm all for it. I don't want to sort of add more time to their day or time for requests and things like that. So I'm not against that. I'd be interested in sort of trying different sort of ways of how services are invoiced and taken care of. And certainly discounts are a possibility. Might be a good idea for maybe a certain week in the year or something like that. So it's interesting. I wouldn't say no, but I just want to have it work for the staff that we have in the library, and for them sort of doing their duties as best they can and efficiently as they can.
Right, and we learned all about that, how every hour counts, especially if we want to be building up our digital database. So along that same line of vision thinking, we have a friend who's asked about any sort of long-term project, a specific project that would greatly improve the library, for which a national fundraiser would be appropriate.
Well, I know I've sort of gone to this as the one sort of thing that we're really sort of trying to ramp up right now, and that's our digital collections database. We showed you a little earlier the link to that. It's really a project that we really like to sort of start moving quickly on. We've had some funds that we were able to receive through the Adopt a Book program. I mean, that's an ongoing campaign, but that's something that we really need sort of probably another staff member to sort of do. We need someone along that line. And it's just a lot of things like server space and things like that that we would need for that project to really, where we can start sort of putting things into the database pretty quickly. That's really something that we'd really like to sort of ramp up, as I say, come in 2021 here and in the future. So I think that's where a lot of libraries are going. Right now in the database, we have 9 journals. Currently, we have permission for 36 more, in which we received permission to put their full journal runs into the database, but it takes time. Some of these are in different forms. Some of them are already digital. Many of them are sort of half and half. There's still some paper copies that we would have to scan and digitize, and some are completely still in paper. There are no digital copies available right now. So that's the biggest project on the horizon for us right now. Once we get the catalog in sort of a form that we like and that we're happy with, certainly sort of linking to that digital collections database is going to be the next sort of thing on the horizon for the catalog, so that we can have a nice smooth link between going into this catalog and then right into the digital database where you can search a particular item digitally in sort of full text.
Well, I definitely have to second, we have a viewer that shares the comments. These are excellent improvements for the catalog. Thanks so much for implementing and sharing. This person cannot wait for it to go live. So that's wonderful. And I want to thank you, Scott and Marian, for joining us today to talk about all these incredible improvements that are being, or enhancements. I mean, really getting to the future. It's really quite amazing to hear the functionality of this new program. Again, as Scott and Marian said, there will be intro videos forthcoming. We'll have those available on stamps.org as well as our APS YouTube channel. The library staff is always here and to help you. So if you ever need if you have a question, it's library@stamps.org. Am I correct on that?
That is correct, yeah.
Good. And we go live on February 1. Remember, we've got all these great books, 2,500, Scott said, 2,500 books to go. And we want to get that dispersed out to you in the hands of philatelists. February, the AP. So we're going to have the launch of the new online catalog, and then the AP, the American Philatelist, the theme of February's issue is philatelic research. So I think the two just obviously go hand in hand, and what a great time to have a liftoff for this new online catalog. So that's something to be really excited about. Friends, if you have any questions, feel free to contact any one of us here at the American Philatelic Society, Scott, Tiffney, or Marian Mills in particular. You can send that email to library@stamps.org and review this Facebook Live, this Zoom. We'll put this on the YouTube channel anytime you need. Thank you everyone for joining us so much. Thanks, Scott. That was an excellent overview. And Marian, thank you so much for all that you do. And Happy New Year, and we will see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.